Located on a mountaintop near Ojai, California, the Beatrice Wood Center for the Arts and Happy Valley Cultural Center is an experience that is off the beaten track, but well worth the trip. While a visit to metropolitan museums and art centers require dealing with freeway traffic and parking garages or subways in busy city streets, visitors to the center enjoy an idyllic drive through the country and a drive up a winding road to the top of a mountain. After taking in scenic vistas, visitors are in an ideal state of mind to experience what the center offers.
I always tell people that running the center is rather like running a museum in Shangri-La. People drive up the mountain, they come to this exceptional place, and they're already in a state of mind where they're totally open and ready for the experience of creating art, viewing art, being part of what we do here.
In 1926, Dr. Annie Besant arranged for the purchase of 500 acres in Upper Ojai, where the center is located, having envisioned that it would be the center of an awakening that would spread across the world. It is the ideal place to create a model for a new civilization, Dr. Besant wrote at the time, issuing a press release that outlined plans that included a school and art center. The place was given the name of Happy Valley, and a foundation was created to look after its development. Dr. Besant assured the trustees that the right people would appear at the right time and the blossoming of Happy Valley would not occur in accordance with anyone's plans or schedule, but would instead grow organically in relation to its destiny. Today, Happy Valley is home to the Besant Hill School, the Ojai Foundation, and the Beatrice Wood Center for the Arts and Happy Valley Cultural Center. The center is housed in the former homes of Beatrice Wood and her close friend Rosalind Williams Rajagopal. Exhibitions, workshops, and performances are regularly presented, and recently Woods' studio was reopened to produce work that celebrates her legacy and the rich history of the place.
Beatrice Wood made clear that her hope was that her home and her studio would one day be used as some sort of museum, not necessarily a way of memorializing her, but a way of sharing what she had to share, particularly her art book library. When I was brought up here, I found that not only did we have this exceptional library, but we also had a studio with the molds that she used, all of her equipment, everything in place. At first, I was hesitant to begin creating art in the studio. It is a sacred space. It is a place not only for me, but for so many people, a place that they hold very dear. And Beatrice Wood's memory and Beatrice Wood's work is something that's held very dear. One of Beatrice Wood's gifts was she made people feel like she was invested in them, and so they really felt invested in her, that they had to make sure that things were properly looked over and that done the way she would have wanted them done. And so I was always very aware of that and very careful to make sure that I was looking after Beatrice Wood's legacy in a way that really not only honored her, but the wishes of those who really loved her. But then something happened it was in 2011, the Santa Monica Museum of Art did an exhibition, a retrospective of Beatrice Wood. And as part of the retrospective, they had a video running with an interview with Beto. And I had so many people come who said, I'd never heard of her before, but I fell in love with her. I really connected with her. And it was an amazing thing for me because I knew that when Beatrice Wood was alive, she had that gift. She had that ability to connect with people, where people really fell in love with her, where they felt this connection. They really got her, or she really got them in a sense. But it was interesting to me that she still had that ability, even though she was physically no longer here. And that changed things for me because I realized I needed to be really respectful and conscious of the people that knew her and loved her and their wishes. But I had to think about the next generation and the generation after that. How do I keep her alive? How do I keep her relevant? How do I expose people to who she is? And so that's when we began creating the homage series in the studio, creating works where they could go off into museum gift stores and things, and people can learn something about Beatrice Wood so they can discover her.
Today, the studio produces a wide-ranging line of work from the Homage series, vessels that celebrate her unique works featuring figurative elements and shimmering luster glazes, to jewelry and small sculptures cast from her collection of folk art. The works, created in conjunction with an intern program that allows college and university students to gain real-world art experience, are offered for sale at the center as well as through museum gift stores and select galleries.
Our educational programming, I have to say, is really amazingly rewarding for me. Seta Savada, who's the director of our children's art workshops, does this wonderful thing with children where she does different themes, where they study Matisse one day, or they'll have a Warhol day. And they also do traditional still lifes, and they experiment with new media. And when we have artists in residence, they come and they work with the artists in residence, and they have this experience of art that kids just don't have. And the kids are so open. I sometimes think that we should have a workshop where the children teach the workshop to the adults, because they're so free and they're so open, and they haven't made judgments and they haven't closed down and said, I'm not an artist. They're still willing to make that exploration, that place of creation and openness and imagination. We have interns who come from colleges and universities, as well as the Besant Hill School of Happy Valley. Our workshops are open to individuals of all ages, and it's so wonderful to have 20-somethings working side by side with people who are past retirement age. It's a way of having a positive impact on others, and by doing so, having a positive impact on the world, which is really what we try to do here, because that's what Beatrice Wood did. She invested in people because she believed they would make a difference. And the hope of the center is that we can make a difference in people's lives, and then they will go on to make that difference, that all of this will emanate from Happy Valley in accordance with Dr. Besant's original vision in arranging for the purchase of this land in 1926.
What do you get out of teaching the workshops here?
Oh, God, I'm fed. I get to feast. I get to feast on the wonderment, creativity, and brilliance of others who come here under the guise of learning something from me.
There's an energy that's here that's unlike any other energy anywhere, really.
I think many people need to get out of their own environment and change their orientation. There was some book on centering, you really need to recenter sometimes and look at things differently and get a little detachment for things that are worrying you and making you an anxious person. And I think this place has a lot of, and the clay of course too, has a lot of healing properties.
Being up here is amazing.
There's
The
so
hospitality, food.
so much good energy in this place. You really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's just this thing that never stops, I guess. Like, you leave, but you take part of it with you forever.
The Beatrice Wood Center for the Arts is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m. To learn more about the center and its educational programming, visit www.beatricewood.com.